Hey, Gloucester Township.
Hey,
Joe Allen. That's Keith Gibbons.
We're kind of surprised because actually all on the back end here, everything worked the first time, and we're kind of shocked.
It was
Usually
one
takes us
button
55
push.
times.
Usually we're over and over again. I'm dropping F-bombs like crazy back here. And then the podcast comes on, and then I got to pretend like, well, I'm happy.
Yeah, and we're surprised.
But it worked. One button push. I don't even know what happened. This is...
this is the recap of the October 27th.
This is the last podcast.
Oh, it is,
before the election.
The 2025 election.
I had this thought earlier. I'm like, Keith was the GT Observer and could be the GT Observed.
Oh, yeah, the Observer. Now you're going to observe me.
I gotta find.
I hope you do.
I gotta find a co-host. And later on I was doing some clips and I saw the Chief was retiring. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do on Monday nights anymore. I was like, I'm gonna see if that guy wants to co-host right now.
I got you, pal.
I'm gonna call you. So.
Yeah.
This is the
shout out to Chief Harkins, who is retiring, right?
Yeah, man. We'll talk about him a little bit later on, but not a bad thing anybody's ever said about that guy. Sad to see him go. It's we didn't realize he hasn't been chief that long, really. What was it?
I don't know the year.
I just mentioned it to somebody the other day. It had only been a couple of years that he was actually chief, and I thought, wow, that's I thought that he was here a lot longer.
Yeah. Well, he did serve. I think it was 30 plus, like 30 years and how many months it was, which was quite a long time.
Yeah, because the gentleman's taking over for him now. He was in his position before that, so and then he's been around here forever. So
yeah, so he was being sworn in on Timber Creek, I believe it was
oh man, that's
the
today.
School, yeah, there was. I think it was yesterday that we had a school board meeting that I was not able to attend, or not that I wasn't able to. That we didn't have because we didn't have a quorum. I was able to attend it, but yeah, the swearing in I found out was the following night, where I thought it was the night prior to that. So, yeah, you're correct, and it is actually being on tonight.
Oh yeah, so we're recording this on the 30th. We're going to release this tomorrow on Halloween. It is the night of the 30th.
Woo-hoo, scary.
Meant to go tonight. Now that I thought,
now that you're saying it, I'm also like, wow,
now that I thought about it, there was like a text group, and we're like, yeah, we should go see the new chief being sworn in. So,
all right, there's a lot going on. You have no idea how busy this election cycle has been. Kind of a whirlwind. I've never done this before, as far as the amount of dates that you need to hit and all this.
Man, you've been crazy with like front yard barbecues at like houses all over Gloucester Township.
We did, I think it was 23 meet and greets, and somebody texted there like, "Are you gonna have a meet and greet?" I'm like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" I've done 23 of them. Like, you want another one? Like, I don't even know when the time is gonna happen for it.
Yeah, I just we happened to catch you at the last one. Probably not even the last one, but the last one that I knew about over in
I saw you at one of them recently. Yeah, there's been a couple.
So yeah, but yeah, I see the photos afterwards, and I'm like, I wonder why they don't invite me to those.
Yeah, everyone's invited.
I crashed the last one. I just knew you were going to be there, and then we crashed it.
That's what you're supposed to do.
So, this is the October 27th council meeting. This is the
so usually these council meetings, especially during election cycles, have these big elaborate ceremonies ahead of time. And this council meeting was a sports awards one for youth sports. They had a bunch of the baseball teams there. I know you didn't actually watch the meeting. I wasn't actually able to attend the meeting either, but I did watch this ceremonies ahead of time. And it was basically a lot of awards for coaches who put tons of time in, and these coaches are out there fixing the fields up ahead of the games, and they're role models for the children. There's a lot of talk about lights being put up was one thing. I like to throw those things in there, make sure that everybody knows, hey, we spent taxpayer money on lights, and it's for a good cause, which it is. But yeah, so there was a lot of awards given out. All well deserved, and they had the Kiwanis Little League, aerial Little League. There was a bunch of different teams. Everybody was there. Each council member was introducing an award and gave a heartfelt speech about why this person was nominated and why they received the awards.
Yeah.
But it was really.
Gloucester Township kills it when it comes to like sports, man. There's just I haven't lived in too many towns, right? But I've never thought about any of that stuff in any other town that I've lived in.
Yeah.
Because it's so well established here, and it's so well organized here too. I mean, I know, our friend Sam Sweet, he's on the board of Ariel, and like they have boards and like they have meetings. I never knew any of that stuff existed before. I just thought just the coach showed up, right? There was a team there, but yeah, there's full blown boards behind all this stuff, and look, Gloucester Township does a fantastic job about it. We're going to talk about some stuff later on, and
well, I would say they honestly they do a fantastic job with youth in general. Like we also have the arts in downtown Blackwood. There's Main Stage as another outlet for it. I know recently, and it didn't come to fruition or anything, but there was going to be a BMX park. Like, you learn a lot as a kid that you don't realize the impact that it has on you later on. And that was some of the comments that they had during this ceremony about the lessons that you learn on the field as a team, and playing as a team, and your coach teaching you different basically life skills through sports. And I think we do a really good job of that as a whole. We have the Field of Dreams also for for teaching kids, and I think we do a really good job of that. And if elected as mayor, I'd definitely like to keep that all going.
There are things there are things coming through. Like I don't know. I forget why I was thinking about this the other day, but like we go back to role models, right? Mm-hmm. And I could think of like a specific fourth grade teacher, right, that stuck out.
Okay.
And then I think one of the biggest, most defining moments of my life, I felt like, was a shop teacher in high school. I went to Camden County Votech and won it was a state competition for automotive.
Oh wow! Okay.
And there was a teacher in there was.
I did not know that.
One of the most influential. Yeah, I wound up sending me to scholarships. I wound up competing nationally, and the teacher there. Teacher's name was Mr. Isles. Was probably one of the toughest teachers that I had, but also one of the most influential teachers that I've ever had. And it's just it's stuff like that when you're at that age. It's just those little things, coaches, teachers, and stuff like that. They just influence you. They just have you. They give you like sometimes just like this. You find this thing that you're good at. And it gives you like the sense of worth, and then it completely changes your direction in life. So, this stuff is.
I played sports a little, as I was younger. But as I got a little bit older, I kind of went off into the self sport things. And my daughter started off started off with gymnastics, and then now does a team sport in volleyball. But I kind of went the reverse. I started off with team sports, and then graduated on to just doing surfing, skateboarding, snowboarding, those things, which are individual sports. So it's a different, you learn differently in those sports versus, the team thing. Like I see my daughter, she was great at gymnastics. She actually was state champ 2 years in a row. And then she became, volleyball player, and it's a completely different, like you're just one person. You have to wait for your turn. It's not always your turn to get the ball. It's somebody else has to set you to hit, and blah blah blah. And the same thing in any of the sports that we're talking about here. It's not individual. It's a team thing, and your coach teaches you all those things that you don't even realize that you bring into the real world. Later on, it's kind of like college. Like you don't always just learn academic things for college. You learn connections with people and different things. So it's. We're way off on like a whole.
We are, but the point is, and I've seen the commentary too about some of the people that kind of that they're really behind the mayor, and they've criticized you without knowing what your platform is towards this. And they always think that because people have said, hey, we need to stop spending money on all this stuff, that you would somehow be against these kind of things. And these things are super important no matter what's going on. You just have to do it kind of responsibly. And we'll get into that later at the end of the meeting. There are some comments about some of the stuff, and we'll kind of touch back up on that later. But this meeting was quite a short meeting.
It was short, but there was a lot of hard-hitting topics, questions, and answers, and conversation that should go around it.
In fact, first public comment was nothing. There was no first public comment, and there was also no eGov either.
Nope, so we went right into...
silencing the people has been working very well for them.
Just as planned. Congratulations.
Consent agenda was approved. Nothing notable there.
But Brian Burns, who's been asking, you regulars out here, actually, that brings it up to, if you are not a regular here, just try to subscribe here. Put the notification buttons on. We do these every time if there's a council meeting. We kind of go over what's going on, give you some backstories, give you a little bit of dialogue of, our thoughts on it. Look at that. Extreme podcast.
The extreme podcast.
You can see the most extreme podcast in all Gloucester
I was Googling earlier to find out how I could do explosions when you talk. Just put a little push buttons. I didn't have time to do it. But gtobserver.com for all of our episodes, articles, podcasts. And then we're on Facebook, a little bit on X.
But yeah, anyway, we got into a reoccurring, I don't want to say guest, because not a guest, it's just a guy that shows up to council meetings, asks questions of our local government, doesn't get answers.
So just to summarize, first time joining us ever, Hickstown Road, right across the street. So you got Hickstown Road, there's the dump. If you're coming from Ariel Road, you're going down Hickstown Road, you got the dump on your right-hand side. Right before you get to the curve there, to come around the curve towards Hickstown Park, it's just woods over there. And I think 2 years ago, somebody showed up at a council meeting and said, hey, they're starting to clear out stuff by our house right there. What's going on? And for a long time, we didn't get any answers. And then we find out that they want to put four
buildings.
Four buildings there.
Called warehouses.
It was labeled as warehouses. Apparently, it's like buildings for to store. I think it's like lawn equipment.
But ultimately, it's clearing out land that could be preserved through our recommendations of the master plan. Brian Burns is a great resource for this township, who has brought many acreage of land to preserve that doesn't cost taxpayers locally. He's out finding the funds for it and blah blah blah. Anyway, so Brian's been bringing this up. He keeps asking questions and getting answers to either different questions, not answers. I think we're literally on week 6 of him asking these same questions.
Yeah, so to sum up, in case it doesn't come through in the clip here, what he's asking for is, so what he found was this particular piece of land is a National Heritage Site, which means that there is, Natural Heritage Site, which means that there is something protected there. I think it's swamp pink is a species of plant that grows there, and it is wetland back there too. So he's saying, before you do that, this site, this shows that this natural heritage
our
site
master plan
shows
says
up,
we should make it,
and it says that we shouldn't build directly on there, right. and we should change possibly our thinking about what we do there. And all he's asked for is, will council, who is the redevelopment entity, honor
the master plan?
That master plan? And he hasn't been able to get an answer. So here's his questions.
Good evening, Council. Brian Burns, Salwood Drive in Ariel.
Good evening, Mr. Burns.
How are you? I wanted to kind of, one more time, you may put this Hickstown discussion to rest this evening.
Good luck, Brian. I'm rooting for you. Good.
So So actually, two questions for this evening. One regarding the Hickstown property, which I do realize there are no plans submitted to the planning board or zoning board, although the township does have a concept plan. So my question this evening with regard to these 4 proposed warehouses is, does the township, working as a redevelopment entity, support the recommendation of the master plan reexamination to create a redevelopment zone in that area? So this is not my recommendation, this is a recommendation by the planning board who adopted the master plan reexamination. Okay, so that's question 1. Question 2, I Oprah'd, or put in an Oprah request regarding the former Freeway Golf Course property, with regard to any plans or documents regarding that property. Ms. Jenna Albano responded that there are no plans on file in the planning or zoning board offices for the Freeway Golf Course property. I'm going through my files. There was a resolution passed, R2404-126, which approved a wastewater pumping station for that property. And in that resolution, it mentions 567 townhouse units and 229 single-family units. So my question is, what can council tell us about the development of that property when the clerk's office says there are no plans, and yet the resolution that was passed for the pumping station identifies, like I said, 567 townhouse units and 229 single-family units. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. The Hickstown property, and does the Township Council, working as the redevelopment entity, support the redevelopment or the recommendations of the master plan? I think I've answered this a couple times, and what my personal stance on it, of commenting on it. I don't know if anyone else from council would like to comment on that. Mr. Burns has asked that question on more than one occasion. Does anyone like to comment on that?
So he still doesn't answer. He's still
Mr. Burns.
So the comment remains the same. No answers. He didn't answer the question because he keeps getting answers.
Single-family units that are there.
Oh my God!
What kind of information we could provide on that? I don't have that in front of me. I can't give you specifics on the count. But you did submit an Oprah. I believe you stated that for that property. But I will try to get you additional information on that, and I have your personal email, so I will gather that and forward that to you.
Why is it so dark right now?
It's the same answer.
Yeah, over and over. It's the same answer.
It's the same answer, which is no answer.
Yeah, I think I've given you that answer, Mr. Does anyone else want to give an answer?
He's never
and
gotten
then
an
gives
answer.
no answer at all and says, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Burns.
A master.
Please stop answering this question that we've already answered by not answering you.
We've already not answered you.
Yeah, so that's...
Didn't I not answer you on this one already?
Yeah.
Did I? Okay, yeah, I'm going to not answer you again.
I thought we blew you off before. All
right. Well, anyway, I guess we'll wait till week 8. Maybe Brian will get an answer then. I don't know. Probably not, though. Anyway, there's a Williamstown Road Settlement agreement that we've talked about. Again, if you've been following the podcast, we've talked about it multiple times now. So Denise Coin had some questions. It's a little bit of scrutiny here. Let's play clip here.
I'm speaking about the upcoming November 10th public hearing on Ordinance 02521 and the proposal to add 1092 Williamstown Road, Block 18302, Lot 5 to the New Vision redevelopment overlay. The timing of this hearing, days after the election, is hard to ignore. Given what's at stake for the taxpayers, it appears
Can we pause it?
to avoid scrutiny and
Can we pause it? Yeah.
So to bring everybody up to speed on this particular thing is a settlement agreement. Again, if you've watched this podcast, can I go back to Maine and still?
You can. I can fast forward when you go back to Maine. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is because of a big, I don't know what word to use here, but a big mistake that was made. Basically, the town could have gotten sued or settled with a settlement agreement. Again, if you watch this podcast, sorry for repeating it, but for people who may not have ever watched this, it's going to cost the taxpayers a lot of money, and it's all because of their mess up. Their mess up is, you should take accountability if you mess up. They do not want to take accountability if they mess up. So this particular settlement agreement is not being actually voted on until after an election happens, so that you can't actually accuse them of oh, look what you did, and they don't have to take accountability. So what do they call those, the time between an election happening and a new person coming into place? That's called a lame duck session. Yeah, lame duck session. So this is going to happen, but during a lame duck session. So God forbid that they have to actually vote on this and hold their record accountable, during the election here. They're not going to do it. So that's part of what Denise's first part of this whole thing is here. So I'm sorry to interrupt that clip, but I think that that's a big point to bring up.
So, before we go into that, if Mayor doesn't win the election, but a couple days after this is this hearing. I think it's on November 10th, right?
10th, yeah. It's scheduled for the 10th.
Yeah. So they could essentially just kind of...
Intended to be scheduled for the 10th. I don't know.
They could essentially just say, look, whatever the Williamstown people want, they can have it all.
Yep.
The next guy coming in, you, stuck with it.
Has to deal with it.
No matter what.
Right. Exactly.
But they can't. But they chose to do it after the election, so they don't have to be held accountable. So either way, I mean,
it's all. Yeah.
If Mayor wins, then they can just do it and go, whatever.
Oh, sorry, we were going to get sued. Oh, my goodness. Oh, we were going to get sued.
Sorry, we did you. And there's been hints of this before where it's like, well, we stopped the warehouse.
Yeah, that's what you guys wanted. We're going to blame you again. You, the voters, didn't want a warehouse. When, again, the only reason that warehouse was stopped there was because they approved housing that wasn't supposed to be there. That's why we're in the situation that we're in.
Yeah, housing that surrounded the warehouse area where the housing people were like, wait, we don't want a warehouse right and smack dab in the middle of the houses that we just had built.
In the middle of the warehouse district over there.
So,
all right, let's go back to playing clip 2.
Speaking about the upcoming...
All right, let's try to fast forward this here.
Hearing on Ordinance 02521 and the proposal to add 1092 Williamstown Road, Block 18302, Lot 5 to the New Vision redevelopment overlay. The timing of this hearing, days after the election, is hard to ignore. Given what's at stake for the taxpayers, it appears it is meant to avoid scrutiny until after votes are cast. But before anyone says to wait for the hearing on the public hearing, the public needs answers now to prepare. There has been little transparency and residents lack information to assess the impact of the settlement. The settlement agreement was discussed in closed session and approved in public without documentation or fiscal analysis for residents to review. Council has refused to disclose how many years the pilot will last, and no written evidence shows this deal's benefits to taxpayers. From what I understand, Council received only verbal assurances from the township's outside redevelopment attorney. No cost comparison, no report, no review. Now residents are asked to expand the redevelopment area to include 1092 Williamstown Road, even though the township's own study found the property does not meet the statutory criteria for being in need of redevelopment. If that's the case, why add it? Your attorney said you don't have to approve it, including this lot, since it was not part of the original settlement. The council president may say the planning board approved it, but that doesn't make the process objective. One member of the planning board is a spouse of a pay-to-play vendor, another works in the mayor's office, one works for the county, and her daughter interned in the mayor's office. And a sitting councilwoman who voted for the settlement also voted on it as a planning board member when she should have recused herself under NJSA 40A:9-22.5D and Wykowski versus Reyes 132 NJ 509, which require recusal when impartiality could be reasonably questioned. The planning board has 7 members, 2 were absent, leaving 5 to vote. Even if Councilwoman Albright Troxel recused herself, there still would have been 4 votes, but the appearance of impartiality remains a concern. These redevelopment relationships raise serious questions about whether the recommendation to expand the redevelopment area was independent. What are the plans for 1092 Williamstown Road? Will it be townhomes? And if so, are those in addition to the 204 units already approved? The redeveloper already owns the property. He can follow his own redevelopment plan and could build under existing zoning. The only clear reason to add it appears to be to extend the pilot and reduce taxes. Residents deserve clear answers and transparency before the election, so voters understand who their representatives are representing and where each one stands on this deal.
I will start off with the comment that council has refused to disclose how many years the pilot will last. No one refused. The
Well, you
question
didn't
was asked
answer.
if there was a pilot, and I had said yes. The pilot is 10 years. That pilot will be provided to the individuals, serve as a marketing tool for the individuals that purchase those townhomes, and they will have that pilot that's available to them. No one refused, so that is incorrect. Going forward, the questions regarding, impartiality of the planning board, and I'll just go back to the questions at the end. And Mr. Carlmayer, if you're able to help me, I do appreciate it. I ask council to answer these questions for the record. Did this settlement arise from council's oversight as the redevelopment entity?
Well, I think if you have to go back to a couple of years, if my recollection serves me correct, council then established a plan for the development of 1000 Williamstown Road, and it included certain things that once 3 or 4 months went by after 1000 Williamstown Road had all their approvals through the various boards and were ready to move forward, then council made a change in its plan that eliminated something that 1000 Williamstown Road, the developer was relying on. And the developer, since they lost that ability after having actually received it through the various planning board, and everything in approval, the zoning changed, and that was the nature of the litigation. That was a very complicated litigation. Mark Celta's firm handled that litigation from beginning to end, very competent, very detailed in how it was approached.
It still boils down to one thing, though.
Celta briefed in closed session with litigation as to the success in areas that were difficult, and resolving that issue mainly because that developer already had their approvals when it changed, the zoning changed, which made the litigation a little bit difficult from the township side. The attorney, some of these questions that were asked here this evening are probably better answered by that attorney, but I'm just trying to recall some of his recommendations were very strong recommendations to the mayor and council that the litigation should be settled. The planning board was also named as a defendant in that litigation, and the same recommendations were made to the planning board attorney. And there was a consensus that it was in the best interest of the township and residents to settle the 1000 Williamstown Road litigation, and that's in nature of its settlement.
Thank you, Mr. Carlmayer. What evidence showed settling was financially better than litigation? You kind of touched on that, but Mr. Salta, who was brought in this particular matter, has done this type of work for many, many years, and based on his experience in council, we decided to move forward with settling that.
I'm very disappointed. I'm getting word salad here, and I don't even have dressing on it.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically, what he said, we already knew.
Yep.
We got a recommendation that it was a better idea to work with them than to go into litigation. But the questions that were asked were, well, was there an analysis of which one?
Wait, what's the long-term effect of this decision versus what's our effect right now.
And the findings...
An effect right now that could save taxpayers of this town tens of millions of dollars later on may be a better choice than...
10 years of pilots. Like,
right, 10 years of pilots from the amount of housing that they're putting in there and all. We'll get into that, later on, but where's the analysis? What is I've been in meetings where an attorney will tell you, I think you just settle.
Yeah.
And I've also been in meetings where they think you should fight it. That's their opinion in what they think litigation might end up being. That's not the entire factor of the reasoning. Like, I don't ask my accountant legal questions, and I don't ask my lawyer accountant questions. How does an attorney know that this is a better choice for the residents of Gloucester Township? Or is it a better, hey, you might want to sell this because this is going to blow up, and there's a lot of dirt that's going to come out about how this is literally your fault that we're in this situation. There's a lot of factors that go into this. One recommendation from one attorney who's I don't know if they're a pay-to-play vendor or not, but typically they are. Mr. Carlemere not say anything, but this is one recommendation.
But the public doesn't know.
Where's the whole picture? Let's look at the whole picture.
The public doesn't know. Like, the public,
public doesn't
funds
know.
this entire government and funds everything that they do.
It's their money.
But the public doesn't know. That's the thing. Like, we have no idea what was discussed there. So...
and in that clip also, I loved how Orlando had to make sure that he said he didn't refuse. No, you're right. You didn't refuse. You just literally avoided that question multiple times and didn't answer it. So that, in essence, is refusing. That's what Denise was saying in that clip there. But,
we're corrupt, and everything's a mess here in Gloucester Township.
That's true, Orlando. You're right. Everything you are corrupt, and everything is true in Gloucester
You couldn't have
Township.
said that and thought that it wasn't going to clip that, right?
Council President, you are corrupt, and everything is a mess. Anyway,
so that was so. There's a follow up question here, and so Denise and Nancy.
Yeah, there was another follow up. And Nancy was following up.
Also asked some questions, right? So I didn't kind of post the answers to them all in one question. That was like a 6.5 minute clip, so I didn't want to put anybody to sleep here. But so I kind of broke things up. Denise's clip doesn't get answered next, but it kind of sort of gets, well, nothing ever really gets answered. But
deserves a financial analysis comparing the cost to the residents of settling versus going to court before November 10th hearing, and an explanation of why the settlement was approved without it. Please release the settlement agreement and any financial data showing whether this deal serves the public interest. I ask council to answer these questions for the record. 1. Did this settlement arise from council's oversight as the redevelopment entity? 2. What evidence showed settling was financially better than litigation? 3. Why was no independent cost-benefit analysis released? 4. Exactly how many years will the pilot last, and what revenue will it generate compared to full taxation? If you don't know, why approve it? 5. What is the total number of housing units planned, including any on 1092 Williamstown Road? If Lot 5 is not blighted, what justification supports adding it, since the developer already owns it, can follow his own plan, and needs no incentive to build? 7. How much taxpayer money was spent on the study, and why was it needed if inclusion was predetermined? 8. If Councilwoman Helen Albright-Troxel should have recused herself, how does that affect the validity of the board's recommendation that Block 18302, Lot 5 be included in the redevelopment plan? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so some of those answers come after Nancy asks her questions, so I didn't kind of want to compound them on, and just because of the way that
the way that this whole meeting works, it's just kind of hard to
our format. There's no question and answer, so it's kind of like a bunch of people ask questions and then
then he answers as one lump sum. So some of the questions are answered actually later on. He completely ignores other questions, which you can't call refusing because then you're But anyway, well, let's move into. So Dave Leader asked a question here. Let's just play clip
Last
4.
week I talked about the ads that are filling our mailboxes that are pretty nasty, and I asked Councilwoman Grace Love and Councilwoman Albright Troxell if they approve those ads. Councilman Castro was not here. I asked you, did you approve those ads?
And let me go back to Mr. Leader when he was talking about the ads that they were approved by the council candidate. Mr. Castro, do you want to address that or?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
No, sir.
So, it's a tough spot here, right? Because it's a new guy, hasn't really been a part of like the machine.
He's running as
right?
an incumbent, so
Hasn't been part of the machine, but he is now part of the machine, so he doesn't have any history with them. But the EFO that he belongs to is sending money to Citizens for Government Reform, which are sending all of these nasty, nasty mailers out saying about how Chief's a horrible person.
oh yeah, you can read him in that voice. Did you put that clip on by chance or no?
Oh, no.
No. Oh yeah, but yeah. They play them. If you can go on the United for Change.
I do have the
Facebook
the thing
page.
here, but I didn't add it in as a clip. But it's well, yeah. It's
Gibbons
Keith
is doing
Gibbons.
this thing in really
4
scary
days
voices.
late on his taxes.
Yeah.
And it's the same message, but in yellow font this time. Or it's,
It's
the same message
mailer.
in white
They
font this
spent
time.
probably
We
$100,000
put a comma in instead.
on the same mailer
Yeah, it's-
over and over again because they've got nothing to go on except like that taxes were due on a Monday and you paid them on a Thursday basically. Even though you
Even though it was ahead or
even though you paid ahead and you were ahead on your taxes, they had nothing else to go on. But the way that they work this is the smiley, happy, we're fantastic, we've gotten solar for you. Those ads come from the EFO, and the nasty, like whoever's running against us is total scum comes from Citizens for Government Reform. Well,
Citizens for Government Reform is Dave Carlemere, who with the word salad guy, his wife
his wife.
is the chair of that.
So they hide behind that so that when you ask the candidates,
Yeah. Oh,
like,
I don't know.
are you, like, you're sending these nasty things out about these people, right? Sent nasty things out about me, sent nasty things out about Sam Sweet before, Joe D'Amico, all those guys. Sent all this nasty stuff, but they always hide behind it and go, it's not us.
Yeah.
Well, you're sending them money to do this. So now when the
They
candidate
can't
is
do that
asked,
without money, and the money is coming from you or your campaign. So,
if you, yeah, if
which this is actually,
if you have a conscience, right, and you're the person running, and they say, do you believe in that ad that was sent out about the candidate that's running against you?
I'll defend Mr. Castro in this situation here. I don't believe that he knows that even is going on. All that stuff is done behind the scenes by the puppet masters, we'll call them, who pull all the strings and do all the stuff. They just know, hey, if I just raise my hand and go to I'll run. If you need me to do that,
absolutely,
Mr. Piccolo. If you need me to do that, I'll do that for you. And now you're the guy. You're the guy. You have no idea what actually happened behind the scenes. You have no idea what vendors donated to which campaign and then moved the money from that campaign to this place over here. I don't put any blame on Mr. Castro or any. I don't want to say blame. Let me rephrase that. I don't think it's not intentional by him. He's just doing
this guy's first responder. I got incredible amount of respect for this guy. He answered the call. Somebody asked him. He answered the call. But you're a part of this game.
Here's the dirt, though, behind it, Mr. Castro.
You're a part of this game now.
You're now a part of it.
Get up to speed because this is the dirty mess that you're in.
And maybe you're okay with that. And maybe that's what Dave is asking you. Are you okay with that? We're bringing it to light.
It looks like...
Now that you know it, are you okay with it? Or are you kind of against that? Does that kind of seem a little bit wrong?
He's had to have at least gotten a few of those mailers. I feel like everybody in township...
Everyone's seen them. If you haven't seen them, guess what? If I do get elected, I have them all because I've got mailed to them, but I guess so they want to like show me like, hey, well, look what we're doing against you. So I'll make a big collage of them, and then I'll like hang it up in the office so you can come see it anytime you'd like to see it.
Yeah. So
this is all the dirt that they're coming, and your EFO funded all of these campaign flyers that go out.
You gotta look. You gotta be your own man and go. Yeah, look,
Well,
I didn't like those. I didn't like those. Or you could say, hey, I looked into that guy and I don't like him at all.
Yeah, you come
one or the other.
That's totally fine.
This is the game that you're in. Like, this is the game that you're in. These people will destroy anybody that challenges them, so they don't get afforded really much.
Today, someone that works in the mayor's office was getting attacked online.
Oh, look, that was nasty.
She's a human being that had maybe she had a bad day. I don't know. Whatever. Somebody put it online. I'm not saying that she did it. I don't believe that she did not do it. But whatever. She's still, I think, a good person, overall. And I've said this before. Like I put everybody in a bucket first of good people before casting whatever, But however, I'd still defend her. And I still think Mr. Castro is just too new to even understand what it is. Mr. Nash, on the other hand, he's been around now a while. I think he was also in that same bucket of, no, you're crazy. They don't ever tell me what to do.
Yeah,
I'm not speaking for him. He's never told me this, but I will tell you, I'll bet you may have a different opinion being a year in versus where he was when before he got elected.
Watching meetings.
So, Mr. Castro, maybe you're getting a little bit sooner because you were put in right after the primary, after Michelle Winters actually won the primary, and then you were put in place because that's how we do it in Camden County. We just we replace people so that other people run as incumbents. Now you get all the credit for whatever somebody else did, and you get to call like, "Oh yeah, I did this," when you didn't. But now, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm off on topic here.
Look, it's a dirty game to get into, and you got to realize
that pisses me off.
That the people on the other side over there, it's dirty, nasty. So you can't expect the other side to just be like peace and love because you jumped into that game. So get up to speed.
Well, I'd say if you're an elected official, you should be able to be criticized for that. That's why I was saying that the woman who was the answers the phone, she wasn't elected. She is a public servant. I get that. That also means that you work for the public. So if the public is criticizing you, you should be able to take it. I'm just saying, be graceful.
I was reading through that, and I did think that, you know what? Look, the public is the customer.
The public is the boss. We've gone over this as far as
Had I done that to a customer, I'd have lost business, or I got fired, right?
Well,
and it's hard to get fired when you're a public employee and the customer is just some random person you can just hang up on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I took it a little bit different than you did. I didn't really feel bad.
All right.
So
let's see. So
Nancy's up next and asked a lot of the same questions that Denise did.
I don't know if they were the same. Were they the same, or were they just continuations of that same topic?
They all run together to me.
Hello, Nancy Kelly, Gentili, Blackwood.
Hello.
Just want to piggyback off of the same topic from earlier. I want to understand what's going on with the settlement with 1000 Williamstown Road, Ordinance 02521. So, what I've gathered, in July 2025, the township reached a settlement with a developer and ending a lawsuit. That lawsuit came about after council, the township redevelopment entity, approved the residential overlay in the new vision redevelopment area in bits and pieces, while seemingly overlooking a remaining very large parcel of land that still allowed warehouses. The developer bought that land intending to build warehouses, but council later approved an ordinance making warehouses a conditional use. Developer then sued and settled that followed allowed for rezoning and a pilot payment in lieu of taxes for 5 specific lots in the new vision area. So keep following. I want to make sure that I have it right. To carry out the terms, council must adopt that ordinance 02521, which puts the zoning changes and pilot into law. If it isn't approved, the township can't legally complete what was already agreed to in the settlement. That could lead the developer to return to court or ask for a judge to enforce the agreement. However, that risk applies only to the 5 parcels in that settlement,
Right.
not to 1092 Williamstown Road Lot 5. It was never a part of it. So in addition to 1092, it's not approved. The settlement and the pilot are still approved for the other lots. Ordinance 02521 is the piece that activates the settlement and the pilot, payment in lieu of taxes. Without it, the deal can't move forward, and the township might have to renegotiate or face renewed litigation. So from what I understand, neither the public nor council members has seen any independent financial analysis defending the lawsuit or for settling and agreeing to the pilot. Pilot payments do not include a payment for educational costs of sending kids who live there to schools, and there would be a shortfall of millions of dollars for their education for the duration of the pilot. If the township did have to renegotiate or even face renewed litigation, that might not be a bad thing. It could finally bring transparency to the details that have not been shared, and it might lead to even a more fair deal. Without an independent financial analysis, there's no way to know whether approving this ordinance is truly better for the taxpayers than going to court.
Ms. Gentili came up
What's
and
with the
kind of
coughing?
echoed
My God.
the things that were said by Ms. Coin. Ms. Gentili, I tried to write down most of the things that you had written, and you had a few questions. Was your summary correct? And then it's true regarding Ordinance 025 would have to be passed for this agreement to go forward. Council, why wasn't there an independent financial review? The settlement agreement, any estimates of the cost? So those things, I'm going to ask, you said that indicate if we had back and forth. I wouldn't be able to go back and forth, to be frank with you, and answer those questions. If it was in front of me, if you could provide that in the future, I would appreciate it. But it kind of echoed the things that Ms. Coin and also Mr. Carlemare and myself responded to.
So it's amazing how now the answers to your questions are literally just him repeating what you asked back to you, as if that was an answer. Like he recaps what just happened. He's trying to do his own podcast from the dais up there.
I made a mistake. I made a mistake on that clip too, because at the end of her reading, and I thought
where he asked if she can provide the questions to him.
He's like, do you have a copy of the questions? And
she was like, no, nope.
She goes, no, that's why we need back and forth. And that is 100% why we need back and forth. It's so much easier, right? And if she could ask him the question, and if he says, all right, and he writes down, goes, hey, look, I don't know the answer to that question. I'll get it to you. Writes it down. Next question. Yeah. And then she asks the question. And look, yeah, maybe, okay, she gets 5 whole minutes to ask questions. So, yeah, sure. In their eyes, they are giving the residents 5 whole minutes to ask questions. But it's so much more productive if we give 5 minutes for question and answer back and forth. So maybe the resident gets 2.5 minutes, right?
Well,
to ask questions.
We've seen them filibuster before.
Get so much more.
To your point, they don't like when people bring things to light, right? I guess at some point they're going to have to weigh how much time they're giving the public, because they can ask all these questions and put it on record that you've been asked and refused to answer. Maybe the word's not refused, because we know Orlando doesn't like he just refused. But when you don't answer the public, the public has now been given more opportunity to put things out there that you're not answering, and then they're on record for not answering them, because his time's unlimited up there. He could go back through all those.
Good.
But he says he just gives a recap of what just was said and doesn't answer any. Well, I don't know.
We're corrupt, and everything's a mess here in Gloucester Township.
Thank you.
All right, so,
Thank you for
look,
admitting that.
I know, like, I know 100% Orlando watches this podcast, right? And
I don't think so.
No, 100% because he goes into his whole statistics later about population, right? They watch this podcast.
Oh yeah, hold on. Actually, isn't there?
It's you mean?
Is there
How would we find that out? Because I'm pretty sure that that's the case.
So you thought that was said? Well, we have people that videotape and people that break down our.
Yeah, but I mean, when was that?
I'm responding to you. I'm sorry.
Oh.
What was?
All right.
We have people that recap
A couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
A couple weeks. Maybe it was last podcast. Dave Leader said, "I like Orlando the person, but I don't like Mercado the council president." And I questioned that, right? But my thought is, I don't know Orlando the person. I would love to just have somebody up there. Whatever happens next election, next week. Whatever happens from now on, we just have dialogue back and forth that is 100% honest, whether or not it puts anybody in a bad light, and we just speak honestly to each other about, like, look, yeah, we totally, like, take the Williamstown thing, right? The Williamstown Road thing. Look, we totally hose this up.
Why can't you own that? Why can't that be owned?
We had to hose this up to save you from getting a warehouse. And we thought it was in the best interest of the town to not have a warehouse here. And that's why we did it. And yes, we messed up, but we saved this from you. Say that, right? And I'd be like,
I respect you.
I respect that. That is.
No. But the problem, in my opinion, is that it's more important to retain power than to ever actually admit something. But we've gone over this before in the
vote
past.
For honesty, man. I would vote for honesty.
I would rather people own it and know, like, yeah, you messed up. You're a human being, just like me. I'm a human being. Yeah. You're a human being. You're a human being. Mr. Mercado, you're a human being. We all mess up, right? Own it.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and gaslight us into that you're the greatest thing on earth and that everything that you did was because of us. No, you're covering your ass. Call it what it is. Be honest about it. We had this conversation before about podcasts, why people actually listen to podcasts into 2025 versus
the news.
To the news. We've gone over this before, right? Dave Mayer now has a podcast. Dave Mayer is the host of the #2 podcast. But so he thinks it's a podcast. People like that. No. People like the truth being told. That's what it is. Just tell the truth. Tell what happened. You're hiding it from everyone.
You know what? If Dave Mayer would have sat down 2 years ago, right, and started his podcast and said, look, here's all the things that I've done wrong, and here's what I wish I could have done, and just was damn honest with it, it wouldn't have mattered at all.
Because you don't have to remember what lie you told.
When we get into this part of this time of the year, right, everything is negative, right? Because we got a governor race and you got right versus left and all this stuff. I wouldn't give a shit what Dave Mayer was politically as long as he was honest.
Yeah.
And he came 100%. Out and he told me what kept him up at night.
Mm-hmm.
And the struggles that he had to face and how he struggled to do it and the decisions that he made and how he came to that decisions to make them. Right. That's all I cared about. I wouldn't care that he's a Democrat. I don't care if anybody's a Democrat or a Republican.
Yep,
I just want good people in my government.
And that's what I've been saying all along. It's just there are certain, and I'm not a one issue person either. It's not there are people who are one issue people, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. Like, how are you overlooking all of these other things because of this one thing?
Yeah, I see that nationally, and then even for the governor, I see this. Like, one issue just hangs people up, and I'm like, look, just go with the person who's speaking the most amount of truth and giving you every bit of information you possibly can. Form your opinion on that. Sure, you don't like that one thing that they do, but look at the other person, you're like, well, I don't know, they got like 4 things that are kind of shady about them, so...
I mean, overall, was our government was it created as the foundation of it to be that you're in office forever, or was it to be that... one of your neighbors is representing you, in this. And hey, sometimes they mess up. If they lied, if you caught them lying, they should be voted out.
Yeah.
It's a really weird thing how over time it's formed into this like business almost of this.
I've always said the best person I feel like to represent Gloucester Township is any random neighbor that I think is a really good dude. Like across the street from me, there's a guy named Bill across the street from me, and I'd pick that guy for mayor, right? Just because he seems like a guy that just gets stuff done. I'd pick that guy for mayor, right? He doesn't have to have a suit. He doesn't have to have any kind of political backing.
Yeah.
I just want somebody that knows, look, I care about this township, and I will do everything I can to help this township.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care. I think that we lost ourselves a little bit when we went to partisan elections.
Oh yeah, and that was intentional. 100% intentional.
It was, but yeah. Anyway, where are we now?
Let's see. Let's go on to David Brown. Yeah, David Brown. He was asking about how much money is generated from our solar panels,
the prime outlets,
and marijuana sales, noting that property taxes continue to rise. So this question he asked, I don't know what clip you played here.
I cut all these clips are so long. I had to cut things up a bit to just kind of shorten them down a little bit. So
let's play this.
Question I have. I never got answered a year ago, and I've still been waiting for an answer. I asked a year ago about the revenue from the solar panels. We said when they first got them, we said we were going to save $400,000 a year. Are we still saving that? I know the life expectancy for solar panels is like 25 to 30 years. So I was wondering, are we still saving the $400,000 a year? Then I also asked about the revenue from the prime outlets. As I know, before prime outlets come, Dan Hutchinson said we're getting $5,000 for the farmland. So it's a whole lot better getting prime outlets, give them the 5-year abatement, and then we get revenue after that. I've asked how much was the revenue we're getting per year from there. Every time I go, there's 10, 12 empty places there all the time now. Just like when they opened up Erling Cross Keys over by Texas Roadhouse. Those things have emptied out like crazy, and they need redevelopment. And I guess prime outlets took a lot of the money for that. And then I also asked about how much revenue are we getting from the marijuana sales, and I never got an answer. But I notice our budget keeps going up, our taxes keep going up, but we're supposedly getting millions of dollars from these 3 things alone. And I'm just trying to figure out where's all this going. I know a good guy that can come and check the books out.
They're not gonna let
Pine Hill for years. He's worked $1 billion accounts. Les Gallagher, real good guy. If y'all want somebody to second,
I'm sure Cardis knows him. He's over in Pine Hill also. Right?
He is. Yeah.
I was looking at the debt for our township. I moved here in 2011.
Don't tell Jim Sweeney about the debt.
I believe in 2010, our debt was like $32 million. And now we're like 70. And so, I mean, the sign says we incorporated 1695. Look online, it says 1798. So from 1798 to 2010, our debt was 32 million. From 2010 to now, we've increased it by 38 million. All these bonds and everything we're doing. Is there any way to get a handle on this?
No.
There you go. My property tax is down at 40% since I've been here.
The revenue from the outlets. The outlets are the largest taxpayer in Gloucester Township. They had a 5-year pilot that ran from 2015 to 2020. They just celebrated their 10-year. They pay full freight. During that time period, they paid for their taxes full freight on the parcel of land. And, it was actually $6,000 or something that they paid for those 60 acres of land.
It's funny how he knows like ballpark numbers when he wants to.
Or give me a roundabout figure of what they pay in taxes. Sorry to put you on the spot. Folks, I'm having a hard time hearing there's whispering out there.
Oh,
but it is the largest.
No, it's not a whisper.
Whispering.
Followed by Millbrook. One or the other is. No, the outlets are the largest taxpayer. I'll try to get that figure. I have your email as well, Mr. Brown. The revenue from the marijuana sales, I wouldn't.
I have your email too.
Here. Is that something also that your office could provide?
Mrs. Eric can provide that.
Okay.
Question that was, how do we make a budget if we don't know, have a guess on what the revenue is? Because that's why I asked you.
Okay.
We've done a budget since.
We're gonna ignore your questions.
So we could provide that, and then you provided comments regarding the debt, and how we can get a handle on the debt. We have increasing needs and costs. If we take a look at what's happening nationally and how our debt has increased tremendously in the last few months, we always take a look at ways that we could do things a little bit better and more efficient, and we'll continue to do that. But we do have needs that we have to address throughout the township. If anyone else want to add to that, feel free.
Did I understand he just said
nationally we have needs. It's a national pickleball craze he's actually
right.
about, yeah.
Well, he also said that in the past few months our debt has increased tremendously. Why was that? Why could that? Because it's an election year. Do we try and keep taxes flat on election years?
That's right. I forgot. We don't.
I'm not sure. Is that what we do? Did he just admit that?
Borrow a lot more money on election years so that we don't have to raise taxes and make Dave look bad.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nobody actually found out what solar panels Dave Brown was talking about. And
he needed to actually identify which panel. Like, which panel how are you talking about? Because he asked him, like...
Yeah, because,
we have a couple different panels around town. It's
tough to distinguish between the billboards that are set up around town that say how awesome we're doing because we're saving money, and the flyers that are like state-funded projects that the mayor sends out that says, I've saved you so much. So nobody really knows because they have... Now, the people have it ingrained in their mind that we are putting solar everywhere and we're saving anybody so much money, but then the people are saying, damn, I don't know, my taxes keep going up, my electric bills are high too, I don't know where I'm not seeing the savings anywhere. But so now it's coming back to them, they're like, well, hey, all this advertising you've done saying that you've saved us so much money, where is it? And they go, we don't know what you're talking about.
Which ones are you asking about? Unless you can ask us a specific one, we can't answer that question.
What lie was that?
We don't know.
Have to go back on. Yeah. So,
all right.
He did not get an answer on that. So, this is the...
just to reiterate, Mr. Mercado does not like talking politics or doesn't allow politics at council meetings. Unless it's him doing it. And then claims that he doesn't like it.
He can talk about it. This was so I titled, I sub-themed this one. The last one was the Extreme podcast. I thought this one was the Empire Strikes Back podcast.
Oh yeah,
because at the end, because there was a feeling at this one where Mercado was like, it's like when Darth Vader struck back, right? He comes back. He's got all these stats on like this is the schools and all this stuff, and he kept talking about people talking about like, oh, the schools are overcrowded, and he's like, you're wrong. And he basically was kind of like, all this building you're seeing going on here and all these extra houses, it's all in your imagination. So here's his part here where he lays it down like Darth Vader here, man.
But I do want to bring up one point. The pilot and the comment that adding this development or any development, and it's been said over and over again,
get ready for the stats, folks. Hold on.
This development,
buckle up.
Or any development would increase
your notepad out.
Stress our school district. And anyone who has followed our council meetings over the years has heard me say that, an example, Valley Brook has 1,300 units, and there's less than 100 students that attend Gloucester Township schools from Valley Brook, who I aired. There's only 68 students that attend school from Valley Brook, 17 in Glen Landing and 14 in Lauren Fleming out of 1,300 units. But let's go a little further.
Okay.
Windy Hills, the apartments located on Erie Road and also the townhomes, there are 17 children that attend Gloucester Township schools. And let's go further south, Village Green townhomes, across from Cobblestone off Sicklerville Road, that there are 15 students that attend the elementary school, Lily, and 6 at Mullen. In addition to that, and this information can be found in the budget that's prepared by the local school district and the high school district, student enrollment numbers. Student enrollment numbers in 2005, 2006 was 7,843 students.
All right, pause right there for a second. So 7,843 students is 743 students over capacity.
Okay.
So just think about that. Capacity is supposedly 7,100 students.
Student enrollment as of today for the Gloucester Township Public School District is 6,496. And in the Black Horse Pike Regional School District, I don't have the numbers that go back to 2005, but from 2019 to 2023 is reduced by 136 students. But back in 2010, the Black Horse Pike Regional School District had 4,152 students. So currently they have 3,527. I found interesting as well is that there is a website called the National Center for Education Statistics. And this has information regarding total population of our township, the community, households, but it also has when structures were built in our community. So before 1970, of all the total structures...
He spent a lot of time on this.
He is
proud. A lot of time.
30.7%.
I don't even know if I feel like listening to the rest of his rant over here.
Housing stock that we have here. Many people who have grown here.
I wanted to give him his moment.
He doesn't do politics up from the dais, so.
Residential homes. From 1970 to 1999, 55.2% there was housing that took place between that period, 1970 to 1999. So you saw a burst in housing. But from 2000 on and after.
Keep in mind, though, in 1999, the master plan basically said that we were built out.
Yeah. Yep.
So, when he talks about the decrease in building, it's basically because we were full in 99.
Right. There wasn't really much else to go.
0.2% of housing took place, structures that were built in that time period. And again, this could be found. You can look it up. I'll give you the site. American Education Demographics and Geographic Estimates from the National Center for Education Statistics. The enrollment numbers.
Is that .org or .com? What was it? I'll give you the site. I'll just say a bunch of words after.
2000, enrollment numbers for Gloucester Township schools is 6,496 students. The needs have changed. There are students that are coming in that have different needs than 20 years ago.
Yeah, there are.
There is full-day preschool, which is added. There's 399 preschool students that attend our schools. So when you talk about we need to build a new building, a building is for our preschool students. We have preschool students that are in our middle schools right now. So
future students that will overcrowd our schools.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Right.
I'm not sure if the information that's provided by some of the folks regarding this housing is going to end up to our schools bursting at the seams when the numbers have declined for the last 20 years in our school district with student enrollment. Housing has only increased 14% since 2000 until 2023. So I don't understand. And I guess, they see, you could still say over and over again that overdevelopment is taking place. Developers are bad. We're corrupt, and everything's a mess here in Gloucester Township. But that's a tired statement.
So
is it tired?
When you're sitting in traffic and you're like, it's just the traffic here is unbelievable, and there's dead animals on the sides of the road because they have nowhere to live, and you go.
Just remember, it's a tired argument.
It's a tired argument. Yeah. It is not.
Orlando Mercado, the council president, says it's a tired argument.
What you are experiencing is a figment of your imagination.
You didn't really experience that.
Brought to you by this podcast, apparently.
Yeah. We're the bad guys. We said it.
So,
we're claiming that traffic actually is building up. we're claiming that up. You are actually seeing a lot more dead deer on the side of the road.
And
A
there
lot more
are
animals
reports
displaced.
from some of the schools that the classrooms have to move into like conference rooms for different things because of the sizes. So
that is true. I mean, we're using closets. Literally, what used to be a closet as somebody's office now, or
so that you
a
cherry
counselor's
picked
office.
a few developments out of here that you thought don't have a lot of students come in here.
Valley Brook has always been somewhat of a single community. Like that's not like typically a family, dwelling area. Some of these things are they're household. He's cherry picking data to make something sound more.
So some stats here too. According to a survey of multifamily rental developments in New Jersey, the number of school-aged children per 100 units is significantly higher in affordable renting housing units than market rate housing units.
Now,
so his
not to
stats
cut you off. Well, go ahead.
are on market rate housing units.
Right. These units that we're talking about over here, though, they've gone time and again now saying that there's a pilot in place, and they're able to use that as marketing to their people that they're going to be selling these to, which in turn makes them affordable housing units, right? That they're now in a different group. So the stats actually show the opposite of what he's up there filibustering about.
So in affordable housing units, 62.9 children per 100 affordable units versus 20.4 per 100. So for every 100 units in affordable housing, you have 62.9 children, and then for every 100 in regular market rate housing, you have 20.4 children. So,
and to quote the source for that, like he liked to do, which did give us an actual source, it was a realestate.business.rutgers.edu.
Yes.
That's where that came from.
Plus, so a lot of talk of affordable
NJB
housing
magazine.
And affordable housing does, there are more students per 100.
That's just a statistic. There's nothing.
So it felt like a win for him, I'm sure, at the end of that meeting with all his stats. But
it's
just.
I didn't see him pour water once. Like usually, he gets all pissed off and stuff, and like wants to attack you and bite your head off.
There it is.
He's pouring out water, and you just hear it. That his chest was pumped out. You hear his chest? I think when one of his buttons popped off. It felt so good about that one.
It's gotta blow that blue suit up.
Yeah, but.
Anyway. All right, so that was it basically for the council meeting. Final remarks here.
Chief Harkins said goodbye.
As we mentioned, Chief Harkins. This is Chief Harkins' final council meeting. It is sad to see him go. Here's a couple words from his. He gave a really long speech and thanked a lot of people. I cut it short here, but here is.
If you'll indulge me for a minute, I'll just go. As this is my last council meeting, I don't know what I'm going to do on every other Monday night now. I'll find something, though, I'm sure. But just going around, I and I say this sincerely.
Call me.
The teamwork and the support that I've experienced as the chief of police since the last 6 years. Prior to that, being the deputy chief of police since 2011, captain prior, and after 30 years and it's almost 7 months. Past council members, all of you, I really, I've never had the time where I'm like really dreaded or anything like that to come before you or answer anything. It's been the professionalism and the respect amongst this administration and the town council is unprecedented. I haven't experienced in any other organization.
All right.
So one thing we can say about the folks that are up there is they've never left the police short.
No.
So
I feel they have blamed them from time to time. They blame them for increases, and somebody I've seen a couple people call them out about.
They would 100% have pointed the direction of some of the big increases towards the police.
Yep,
but they have never denied the police what they've needed.
Right.
So there
kudos
is that.
To them for that.
Yeah, kudos to them for not leaving our police shorthanded.
Nuthouse had something to say. What did she say?
You know what? I like to poke fun at Troxel from now on up, but she made some comments and I thought they were worthy.
Okay.
And Chief, I've known you for a long, long time. I started back in the 90s, and I remember you from then. Of course, we were both young children at the time. But I have to tell you, I have never had a day that I haven't admired or respected how you've handled yourself, especially in some difficult situations that have come to us in this township, and you'd handled them with aplomb. And I really, really appreciate that. You set an example as a role model, not just for the rest of the police, but for all the people that live in town. You set that role model high. And I think that's really important because people need to see people that they can respect and aspire to. And I think that a lot of young people who may want to become police officers will look to you and say, gee, he started out here, look where he ended up. And hopefully you inspire others to do that type of work.
I agree. Our police community involvement is fantastic. It interacts with children and gives them a positive outlook on police. So
well, they interact with the community as a whole. Like they also have that community. What do they call that?
The citizens police thing, which I think is I would love to join that.
You need to find some time to go do it.
Have you done it?
No,
I'll do it with you. We should do it.
All right.
We can podcast about it afterwards too. But yeah, I 100%. I think those are great words from Ms. Troxel, and I completely agree with her.
All right.
Jim Nash, he had some remarks at closing about taxes and stuff.
Something the mayor said, what kind of caught my ear a little bit was, and someone mentioned property taxes. We all hate property taxes, right? It's not something we're excited about. But council, it's always been and always will be the top priority for us is to operate the town and to grow the town the best way possible, and to do that without increasing taxes. But it's also very, very important, it is to me anyway, to look at it two sides of the coin, right? So I understand there's people with limited incomes, and there's people that are, the tax dollars mean a great deal. But then there's also a great portion of the population who is interested in growth. And seeing all the kids here today, all the sports organizations, and being involved in the investments that the town is making is crucial. It's paramount to me personally, being a coach and a president of a baseball organization. But I just wanted to bring that up. Yes, we hate taxes, but to see the Field of Dreams children now being able to play on Friday nights under the lights, I mean, why shouldn't they? To see our baseball, softball, middle schools as well, middle school, high school baseball and softball. There's a lot of kids, thousands and thousands of kids who can't play baseball for 6-7 months out of the year, right? Because of the weather. Now we have an indoor batting cage. Why shouldn't we? These are great luxuries that we're bringing to the town, and it should be celebrated. Yeah, it costs tax dollars, but it's the town that I want to live in. It's the town that is going to bring in more and more people, active members of society and to our community. So yeah, I appreciate it. I hate taxes. We're going to do our best, but at the same time, we want the town to grow.
All right. So first thing popped into my mind when I watched this is he said it himself. It's a luxury.
Luxury. Use the L word.
It's a luxury, right? And then a couple times in there he said, "Why shouldn't we do this?" And look, at the beginning of this podcast, we talked about all of the positive things that sports and coaching and everything has to do with kids and how great it is. But there is a moment where you say, damn, we gotta be adults and we gotta be responsible with the debt that we have. This is like when your parents go into debt to give you these massive Christmas gifts for Christmas, and then the rest of the year you guys are struggling. It's like,
yeah, eating syrup sandwiches.
Yeah, you gotta say, look, I can't give you everything that you want, but I can give you a good home, right? And we just want Gloucester Township to be a good home until we figure out what to do with that debt. And then after that, we can look at, if we have no debt, we can look at luxuries. Right now, my personal opinion, he gave his personal opinion, I give my personal opinion, and I feel like we are not in a position right now to think about luxuries.
No, and I don't want to say so he made a comment during me. No, he made a comment during his speech that we didn't play a clip of, but he had mentioned one of the coaches that he was presenting the rewards for, talking about like how parents always want to have this coach as like their coach for their kid, and in his belief and what he knows to be true is that the kids always they want that coach because that coach makes it's just fun, right? We as parents, I'll put myself in this category too, is even though I'm either way, we always want what's the best for our kids, but that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that's going to make a difference in what they're getting out of out of the sports. So in his own award speech there was about making it doesn't matter if the team wins or loses, it's because the kids had fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've brought up the analogy or whatever of there are professional baseball players that are from say the Dominican Republic who literally didn't even have a baseball glove. Like they had piece of cardboard with like tape on it. That's what they used as a glove, and they made it to the professionals and are like top notch. It's not because they had an indoor batting cage to play all year round. It was coaching. It was practice. It was many other factors.
Yep.
It's not always about the luxuries that you have. And I'll put myself in the same category. I've talked to you about this before. I love the idea of having a hobby, right? So I'll go purchase all the different things to have the hobby, and I'm like, well, I can't have that. Like, just picture, I don't know. I'll just use not even myself as an example, but something that other people can relate to. Like, just say a guy that likes to go play golf. He's going to go spend, buy $1,500 irons.
That's totally me.
The guy could. You could go get a $12 at a yard sale club and hit exactly the same amount because you don't know the basics of what it is to hit the ball. But the $1,200 club is what you're buying because you think that's going to make you better.
Yeah.
There's a line that we need to, as a community, when everyone's funding on this whole thing, that we have to have a conscious effort of. Like, I know it's something you want. It's something I want. It's something that guy that wants to start playing golf wants. But it's not really what's going to make the difference.
Think about it.
It's the community. It's the community that we live in, right? So those people, that coaches that he was giving the awards to, that's what actually matters, and that's what makes the difference. It's not all of the luxuries.
We have people that get food from a pantry in town.
Yeah.
Right? So that we're on so many different levels. Like, we've heard from the people that are like, I'm on a fixed income and I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford the next tax increase. Right? Those are the people that got me interested in fighting for this. But there are people that are worse than them, right? That are getting food from a pantry and they're struggling every day. Yeah. And
we have people in a day or so from now, whenever this airs, they're not going to have food because of the government shutdown, and we have, they're not going to have food stamp. The SNAP program goes away on that. That's the kind of person you should be thinking about, not that we need lights on the field because we can have a tournament, here. That, not saying that they don't have that.
You got to think about every person in Gloucester Township.
I can't tell you how many. I know the seniors is one area of Mayor has a lockdown on the ability to get to them. But I've also talked to a lot of seniors in the town, and one of the main things that they all bring up is this farce of that they have this tax freeze. That's true that they will get the money back, but however, every time our taxes go up, they still have to pay it out ahead of time, and then wait to get it back. And I understand that on a sheet of paper that makes sense. They're like, oh, they got it back. but they still had to live even less within their means now because they have a fixed income. They have no more money, and now our taxes went up because we had to do all these luxuries, and they have to wait for it to come back. And in the meantime, maybe they can't buy hamburger meat anymore. It has to go down to, ramen noodles. Then it keeps going, keeps going up. Now maybe it's not ramen noodles. Now maybe it's cat food that they have to literally eat. This is a reality for people in our community, and it seems we don't ever really think about that. And dismiss it and just say these people, they get that money back. That's not. I don't know.
Gloucester Township is you look at like Haddonfield, right? There's not the same problems in Haddonfield. Gloucester Township, we have a very diverse range of people with income levels and everything. So we have to think about all of them, and that's basically what we're coming down to. But one of the things that hit me here was he said, one of their biggest priority is to grow this township, right?
Right. When is that a priority? When
the
is
number
that a
one
role?
priority of a township council is to represent the best interest of the residents. So I took some notes here and thought about what should my township council be? And number one priority, public safety and well-being from all the residents in township. Number two, responsible stewardship of township money.
It's our money, right?
$70 million in debt, and spending it on things when we have debt, right? It's that person that's just swiping the credit card constantly, and you're like, oh man, I feel like it's gonna come crashing down on them sooner or later, right? We can't be that as a township. Number three, setting local policy and long-term direction. Let's think long-term direction, not the shiny new things that are going to get people elected, right? Maybe it's going to be boring, right? But long-term direction, you're going to be, look, you can think about maybe retiring here. You can think about your kids still living here. It's just one of those things. I mean, it's those three things: public safety, responsible stewardship, and a long-term vision.
Yeah.
To me, that's really what we're looking for here.
So long-term, define that out, right? That's setting ordinances, and planning things out. Like the master plan is a good example of a long-term planning.
Thing, yeah.
And when you have Brian Burns going up there and asking, like, do you believe in the master plan? Are you gonna support that? That's literally what he's asking. Are you putting in this long-term direction, this long-term policy, and even this settlement that we're talking about? We're not talking about long-term. We're talking about they're worried about, in my opinion, they're worried about the upcoming election in a few weeks and how that might look versus what are the long-term? We have a pilot that we now have admitted that is 10 years, even though we've admitted there's a pilot, but we didn't actually answer the question of how long, call it refusing or not. Either way, we're not looking at, we don't care what 10 years out looks like. We'll deal with 10 years out when it comes, because our current hurdle is getting over this election to maintain power and control over your tax dollars. But that's,
That's all it, right, man. This is last podcast before the election, so we will. I will upload this, release it tomorrow on Halloween, just a few days from the election. If you get a chance, by the way, to go out and vote early, voting is on Tuesday. Early voting.
You can vote now.
I did it last night. It's pretty amazing, right? There was a couple people in front of us in line there. I waited no more than 4 minutes probably. I walked in. They said, hey, just stand right here. When somebody was done, I went right in. Amazing experience. Second year in a row I've done early voting. Go and do it. We've talked before. You saw my video before about people on the poll workers. There's a shortage of poll workers, right? Sometimes it's a little bit backed up. Sometimes things get a little bit hectic. Vote early, man. It is so much better. Go to the Board of Elections. It's over on.
If you don't vote early, at least get out on election day.
What is that?
Or road.
Or road, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few places throughout the county. You can go on the county's website, find out locations. You don't have to actually live in a district, how it is like on voting day. But however you get out to vote, your vote by mails, turn them in, early voting, or get out on election day.
And the good thing too, So anywhere, go on the website, look for early voting locations in Camden County. You can go to any one of those. It doesn't have to be Gloucester Township.
Yeah.
You can go there and vote. Early voting.
Yeah.
Early
Say
voting
you
is
work
pretty
in
amazing.
Cherry Hill during the daytime.
Yeah.
There might be a location right around the corner from you. You can go during their lunch.
Early voting is pretty amazing. At the very least, man, just vote. Just vote.
Get out and vote. Show your voice.
You have a voice. This is your town. Just vote.
Yep. All right. And I guess on the last one, I would love your vote if you could actually vote for me to vote for some change around here. You did? Awesome.
I did. Yeah.
But anyway, thanks, guys. We will see you on the next one. Happy Halloween.